It does seem like Call of Duty right now is under a lot of trouble. Black Ops 7 just had one job, and that is to get the SBMM removed. This is what people wanted. This is what people requested, and it simply didn't work out. SBMM is still on because they spent millions of dollars on it, and it's become a very, very expensive social experiment at this point. A lot of people are simply done. They moved on to Battlefield 6. They moved on to other games. So Call of Duty, it's safe to say that this year was not perfect. Even though we're just about to have the biggest Call of Duty Black Ops Season 1 update. Amazing, good. But is it enough to save Activision and the millions of dollars they're about to make? And again, a lot of these Call of Duty YouTubers are very mad at Call of Duty. That is for one simple reason, is because if they improve the game themselves, if they go out there and show what's possible, how good the game is, this will basically help them into making more money for themselves and both for Activision. So it's pretty clear to say that a lot of these content creators, we all have the same interest, but Call of Duty Activision is not doing us any favors.
Doing very well, despite every hard number that we can actually see. When we can actually see the hard numbers, they're doing terrible. Yet somehow on console, I don't know if it's like the old gen, players like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players propping up these numbers, but it just doesn't make sense how disappointing Black Ops 7 was, commercially, financially, sales-wise, what have you, to still see so many players on Call of Duty. Again, if I show you the Steam charts numbers, and I get not everyone plays on Steam, but if I show you the Steam chart numbers, which are directly correlated, it's like they can't even break 60,000 concurrent players on any given day, and the game just fucking came out. That is just not good. No matter how you slice it, it is Black Ops 7 players. But then I see this comment right here, which strikes me as odd. I don't know why it struck me as odd. It just, something seemed off about it. I was hating on the game at first, but it's actually not a bad COD. I'm a fan, to be honest, and they're adding a lot with Season 1. So I see that and I'm like, well, I don't know what that's about, but let's just keep going here. So, more random discourse, yada, 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 but then I see this. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, guys? It is the exact same comment as that other account, but it's a different account. Bit weird, huh? So
yeah, I don't think it's because futuristic games are oversaturated piece of slop. I think if you make something cool like sci-fi type, like extraction shooter, Arc Raiders, completely fresh, completely new, then obviously you're gonna get some eyes and attention. You gotta make the game good. But when you release the game for the sake of just releasing it, because you have to release it every year, that people will obviously notice. And they noticed this year that something went terribly wrong, either with campaign or lack of content and zombies. It gives you a pretty clear idea that a lot of these players are massively, massively frustrated with the game. And yes, it was flopping. So you have 50% of people who just moved on to other games, right? They aren't even active on social media, and Call of Duty Activision noticed that. Then you have the other 50%, which is a very big problem if you ask me, and that is Call of Duty players are simply done. And they are mad and they want justice. It tells you a pretty clear point of what's going on right now. And I am really, really worried when they do something like that.
This could be a genuine person, so I've censored their name out just in case. But when I check their profile, I see something that points to this not being a real person. They are only a member in Black Ops 7 and COD Black Ops 7. Again, just two subreddits that should be merged into one at this point. Why they haven't been, I don't know. And their only posts and replies are in that post I just showed you. Their Reddit account was made 1 day ago. So we're back with this, and this might look familiar to a lot of you. Filler bots in FFA. Played a bit at 2 a.m, FFA only. I swear there were bots in my lobby, not a boosted lobby by any means, but the way some players act is really strange. I mean, I've seen bad people play the game, but when you take 5 seconds to aim and look around for 20 seconds before shooting, I'd assume.
Now, this is very, very suspicious, but obviously it's not enough evidence. Why? Because, one, yes, you could have marketing team member do that. I don't know why they would pay people to make Reddit posts on how good the game is. So this, to me, I just have to dispute it. I don't think that's real because, like, if they wanted to do something marketing-wise with their budget, they would just push ads or they would try to convince people the game is good and the single player is awesome instead of making Reddit posts about it. But yeah, obviously, sometimes people could make stuff up, or he could just make a new Reddit account. So I'm not too 100% sold on that, but let's continue watching the video.
That me and another guy farmed the whole lobby for 10 games, then I logged off. I get the no SBMM stuff, it should be totally normal, but I swear that their gameplay was legit like those bots in Black Ops 1. Just woke up and thought about it, thinked about it overnight. Why do Call of Duty players have such horrendous grammar and spelling? The thing about those lobbies, though, is that it's very rare you accidentally get in them, and if you do accidentally get in them, they're pretty easy to spot. Like, for example, this is a good screenshot. This shows exactly what I'm talking about. They'll have, like, bot in their clan tag, and you'll know who's a bot and who isn't. So it's pretty easy to see what's a boosting bot and who's a real person. But this comment kind of makes things a bit more weird. And this is in reply to the post I just showed about the FFA bots. I saw the same thing yesterday when playing before work around 7 a.m. MT. There was a player who was...
On one part, there could be scripter systems where people want to level up and they just run around in the game to get end of the match bonus. This is a very big possibility, but on the other hand, also bots have gotten so good at the games and have gotten just so good with the system that we're seeing something that we have never seen before. So this is something that was also very popular in Battlefield 2021 when you had, literally AI systems working for you. So I'm really wondering, if there's a lack of players and they want to find the match lobbies fast, could they absolutely do that? I think they have the capabilities to, put random players in. Again, it would be a very confusing system. And the other part would be, yeah, obviously people are using some kind of system to level up faster while they're idle. It's been, away for many, many days. I think, honestly, at this point, it would be an awesome way if we saw Activision respond on this. And again, we Call of Duty YouTubers have been calling for someone to communicate with a team. If you had, for example, a question, you could post it in a Discord and all the YouTubers would get a reply about SBMM or whatever. This has been very popular with Hearthstone, for example. You would have a community manager working with all these content creators, and between the company and between the community manager, who's sometimes a content creator himself, the barrier gets so much closer and the trust becomes so much higher. But suddenly, for some reason, even Activision is not promoting that, but they do have some other, employees. So some sort of a community manager would be great here because we would need explanation. Like, people can use this, even if it's not true, into something much, much bigger and start to believe it. So I would be very worried about that.
6 months later, boom, there they were. I fucking called it. I would like a little transparency. It would be cool if the devs got on top of it, but then again, at the same time, they lie so fucking much, even if they say, no, there's no bots, at least from our end, then are we gonna believe them? Probably not. Guys, Black Ops 7 has to be the most inauthentic game ever. It seems they are definitely botting engagement. I mean, we saw it on...
At this point, it's just really hard to say, and I cannot be 100% certain on where we go from here. What do you guys personally think? Do you feel like Black Ops 7 is overhyped? Do you think it's underrated? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, it's a pretty big concern when there could be bots running around in the game or inflated numbers for people to join lobbies faster. The other reason would be because, yeah, if there's no people in the lobbies or for their own ranks, they could add random bots. This is something we saw in previous games, even a few years before that. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised. This is also something that Fortnite has added and hasn't, been very vocal about it, but you can pretty much see who's a bot and who's not. just makes total sense at this point, especially for lower lobbies, and people are starting to find out the truth about Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So awesome video, amazing, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated with more news.